Mr. Jackson, am I correct that the involvement you had with regard to flood claims and specifically the Margiotta claim was solely in the Dallas call center?
That would be correct.
You never went out into the field for flood claims?
No, sir, never in the field.
Never had to go take photographs for flood claims I'm talking about?
No, sir, I never took any photographs of flood claims.
And we go down at the bottom of that box section. It says 19 feet as per insured.
That's correct.
Now this would have been specifically obtained from Ms. Margiotta.
That is correct.
No doubt about that.
No doubt about it.
Okay. Do you know or do you have any recollection of how she determined that level to be?
I have no clue, sir. No recollection.
And it says, the section says, did water entered the living area? Circled yes, and it says 19 feet as per insured. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Shows exterior water line, yes, and it shows 10 feet, 0 inches. Same thing for interior water line, yes, 9 feet, 0 inches. Do you know where that came from?
That was information provided me by Mrs. Margiotta from the insured.
Okay. She told you specifically, or let me ask you this way, you asked her specifically about an exterior water line and an interior water line?
I asked her, standard practice, my standard practice was to ask how much water was in the home.
Okay.
Her indication to me was the house was 9 feet off the ground, according to the file. There's, I believe, there's another place in the file that actually states that the house was 9 feet off the ground and there was 10 feet of water in the home.
Okay. And that specifically would have come from Ms. Margiotta?
That's correct.
No other location?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. Were you aware that there was no house there to measure a water line?
No, sir, I was not.
Didn't Margiotta tell you that her house didn't exist there anymore?
No, sir, she did not.
What instructions were you all given with regard to handling flood claims?
Well, that was it. You know, talk to the people and run exact total on it and pay them off on their flood policies. That was our objective, was to pay them off. Because you got to remember, it doesn't come out of State Farm's pocket. They made millions out of administering this. Didn't cost them a dime. So they weren't being fussy about paying out on flood policies. That comes from the government.
That's the NFIP?
Yes.
Okay.
So yeah, give everybody all that money because it's not ours, and then we'll call it a flood event and maybe not pay them off much on wind.
What were you all doing to decide what was flood and what was wind?
Nothing. We just paid off on the flood policy.
So,
we didn't make any distinction. We didn't need to know how the house was damaged or anything. We never asked, are your shingles blown off? We didn't care. They had a flood policy. They had a lot of water. We paid them off on it. Well, if the carrier was saying this is a flood event, which is what they were saying to us too there, this is a flood event, there isn't wind damage. And I said, well, how did the Superdome roof get blown off then? I mean, that wasn't flood that took that roof off. There was wind. There had to have been wind. We didn't even deal with the normal Exactimate program. We didn't estimate anything. And cost-wise, all we did was run this Exactimate total, and it would come up with a dollar amount at the end of how much it would cost to rebuild this building that you just fed the information into. And as long as that was above their limit, we could pay the limit. And if it wasn't above the limit, we were supposed to massage it and make it above the limit. They wanted to pay them off on those policies. They said things to us like, we got to get money into these people's hands. It's going to take a while to get to these wind policies. We got to get some money in their hands. And that's what they did. They paid them off on the flood. And we all kind of rolled our eyes because we were going, yeah, you want to get money into their hands, that belongs to someone else. You know, as long as somebody else is paying the bill, it's good.